For years, I have dreamed of traveling to Jordan, a country steeped in history, with landscapes as if untouched by time. And now my dream has come true, and I am in Jordan. My acquaintance with the country began with Amman, not even so much with the city as with its inhabitants. Amman is the capital of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. That is the official name of the country. Jordan is one of the 3 countries in the world named after the ruling dynasty. In Jordan it is the Hashemites, in Saudi Arabia it is the Saudis. The Principality of Liechtenstein is also named after its ruling dynasty. Jordan is a small Arab country in the Middle East, bordering Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. Thanks to its pragmatic policies, it is the calmest and safest country in this troubled region. The royal family is highly revered here. King Abdullah II inherited his blue eyes from his British mother. And all Jordanians are proud of their queen. The Queen of Jordan, wife of King Abdullah II, is called the Pearl of the East, the most expensive and brightest diamond in the crown of Jordan. Queen Rania is intelligent, educated and free from prejudice. She does not wear hijab, it is not prohibited by law. Jordan is considered a liberal Arab country. It is a secular state, and women are allowed to walk here without hijab, but many still wear scarves hiding their hair and neck. Citizens of many countries need a visa to enter this country, and you can get one right at the airport. But it is more advantageous to buy a Jordan Pass online at home, a kind of season ticket that includes the visa fee and entrance to the main attractions, including the ancient city of Petra. But there is one condition. You must stay in the country for at least 3 nights. There are 3 variants of Jordan Pass. They have different costs, but they differ only in the number of days to visit Petra. If you pay for the visa and entrance to museums and Petra separately, it will be much more expensive. At the airport I advise you to exchange a small amount of money, as the exchange rate there is not favorable. The Jordanian dinar is quite expensive. Almost $1.50. Therefore, prices in Jordan are not cheap. By the way, the national currency, dinar, is one of the strongest in the world, the rate of which practically does not change. And there is one more feature of local money, namely coins. So if the banknotes on the back have the usual numbers, on the coins, only Arabic. And only in small print their denomination is written in English. It will take some time to understand them. By the way, this is used by bus ticket sellers at the airport. So, having sorted out the coins on the bus, I was missing 15 piastres. The airport is about 30 kilometers from Amman. There are buses between the city and the airport that leave about every half hour. Outside the window is a dreary landscape. The houses at the entrance to the city are not diverse either. Everywhere unattractive monotypical buildings. I reached the hotel, which is located in the very center of Amman, in the evening. The only thing that pleased me was the view from the window of one of the city's most famous landmarks, the Roman Theatre. This was the first attraction in the city that I visited with Omar, a young Amman resident. I had met him before I came to Jordan through the coach surfing platform. He contacted me himself and offered to meet me. I always try to meet locals on my trips, as they will show places that are not in any guidebook. Omar suggested meeting his friends Nasser and Yesim, to which I readily agreed. The guys turned out to be very cheerful and easy to communicate. And here we are already in the car and rushing through the night city. Nasser turned on the music and seemed to have forgotten that he was driving. Outside the window, the streets of the night city flicker by, and here we are in a completely different, modern Amman. This neighborhood is called Al Abdali. Here are skyscrapers, government buildings, residential neighborhoods, and shopping streets, including the pedestrian boulevard Abdali with elegant boutiques, modern shopping centers, expensive stores, cafes, and restaurants. And we finished the evening on the outskirts of the city. Smoked hookah, or as they call it here shisha. I smoked for the first time in my life. Drank tea, which is very good in Jordan. I also gave the guys a lesson in Georgian. Nasser had the hardest time with it.
خدني معاه على غدا على قبال يا رجل رجل مرة رجل فضحتونا اول اخر حرف واول اول حرف اخر حرف اللي بالنص اج او رجل وانا بتطلع اسمع جو
By the way, this kind of pastime is common for Ammanis. At night in Amman, you can meet groups of cheerful young guys. They do not have money for expensive entertainment, they just drive around in cars and in secluded places or on vacant lots organize picnics. They smoke hookah, dance, sing, in short have fun as they can. There are no girls among them, of course. This evening was the most memorable event of my trip to Jordan. The next day began with morning prayer at 4 or 5 in the morning from a neighboring mosque. The morning prayer on the loudspeaker immediately reminds you that you are in an Arab country. I began my exploration of the city with the Roman theatre, which had been closed the night before. My companion for the day was Tariq, another Amman resident, who offered to be my personal tour guide. The Roman theatre is one of the most famous monuments of the Roman period on Earth, carved right into the thickness of the rock. The theatre seats 6,000 people and they still hold concerts here. The acoustics are able to transmit what is happening on stage to all spectators regardless of where they sit. It is interesting that the long benches of the theatre are specially turned to the north, which allows at any time of day to observe what is happening on stage without fear of being blinded by the rays of the sun. Especially for the nobles of the time, the theatre was connected by an underground tunnel to the citadel, a fortress that rises above the city on one of the hills. This provided good protection, also from the scorching summer sun, and made it possible to come and admire the new spectacles without hindrance. The size of the theatre is impressive. Stepping on the stone slabs, you involuntarily think that perhaps the Roman Emperor Hadrian himself stepped on them, for whose visit this theatre was built. To fully appreciate the grandeur of the construction, climb to the very top. From here you have a beautiful view of the city and the citadel. But before you climb the hill, visit the theatre's two museums. The Jordanian Museum of Folk Traditions to the left of the stage with a collection of Jordanian household items. And the Jordanian Museum of Traditional Costumes and Jewelry right with an exhibition of national costumes, ancient jewelry and mosaics. After touring the museums, walk up the hill across the street to the citadel, where you'll find the ruins of an ancient fortress, a Roman temple, a Byzantine church and other archaeological sites. You can take a cab or you can walk up the narrow ornate streets and steep stairs. And don't try to find a crossing. Cross wherever you like. And if traffic is heavy, just raise your hand. In Jordan, drivers are not hesitant to let pedestrians cross even when the light is red, because local laws say that in the event of a collision, the pedestrian is always right. The citadel offers a beautiful view of the Roman theatre and almost the entire city. The houses pressed closely together look like cardboard boxes with cut-out windows. Depending on the weather and time of day, the city is grey, white, or sandy colours. This is done on purpose, as such houses reflect sunlight better and keep cool inside in the heat. Amman is one of the oldest cities on the planet. 7,000 years ago, civilization already existed here. The city is mentioned in the Old Testament under the name Rabat Ammon as the capital of the Kingdom of Amman. Under the rule of the Greek ruler of Egypt Ptolemy II, the city was renamed Philadelphia, and during the reign of the Romans it became one of the centers of the Middle East. For several centuries the city was part of the Nabatean kingdom. During the Caliphate, the city was renamed Amman. Throughout its history it has survived several major earthquakes and remained in ruins until the end of the 19th century. Therefore, there are very few ancient buildings here. All of them are mainly located on the territory of the citadel, a very ancient complex that mixes objects from the biblical, ancient, Byzantine and Ottoman periods. Thus, from the Roman era, there remain the ruins of the once majestic Temple of Hercules, built in the 2nd century AD. Of the 33 columns that once surrounded the temple, only 3 have been well preserved. Residents of the country and numerous tourists like to take pictures against their backdrop. And from the huge statue of Hercules only 3 fingers and a piece of knee have reached us. From the Byzantine era, a 6th century basilica has been preserved here. The Caliphate recalls the times of its dominion with the ruins of the palace of the Umayyad dynasty dating back to the beginning of the 8th century. Wandering among the ruins that have survived centuries and millennia, which remember Egyptian chariots, Roman legionnaires, and Arab horsemen, one realizes how long a line of ancestors preceded the modern inhabitants of Jordan.